Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad, and today we're going to look at the NEOS calls, what they're doing. We're going to debunk some of the stuff that's been said about NEOS, especially on Seeking Alpha, and we're just going to look at their calls. If that's what you're looking for, stick around. So my name is Brad, and I've been retired now 18, 19 months, and we're going to just go ahead and look at the NEOS calls, because NEOS writes their calls on the end of every month, and they roll them at the end of the month. So let's go ahead and look at them. First one up is SPYI. You can see where their calls are, and these are as of today. When they wrote the calls, they were a little bit farther out of the money, but you can see where they are. You can see QQQI, IWM, BTCI, because Bitcoin has a run recently, so it's a little bit closer to the money. You can see the REITs, the gold actually is through their strike. Ethereum, because of the run recently in crypto, is a little bit closer, and you can see the Master Limited Partnership. That started out 1% out, but because of things and how the market has moved, it's a lot closer to the money. But let's look at these actually on a chart, because it's easy to look at a graph and say, oh, I don't always know what that exactly means, but let's look at a chart. We're going to look at past, and we're going to look at some other graphs, just in case you are interested in why I say some of the FUD is FUD about NEOS. Let's look at them. First up is SPYI. You can see where their call is. You can see where the last month call is. And you have to go all the way back to October to see that they actually ended up in the money. The last 2 months, they ended up out of the money because it was more of a sideways, the down market, more sideways than anything else. But you can see exactly how SPYI is operating. They roll those calls at the end of every month, and you can see that last month they ended up out of the money. SPYH, well, SPYH has protective collars down below, and you can see that. The top of the box is where the protection starts, and the bottom of the box, which is not even on the chart, is where the protection ends. But you can see that on SPYH, hey, the last 2 months did not go through the calls. They did finish above the call way back in the end of October. Now let's move on to QQQI, the one that has those articles written on Seeking Alpha. If I look at the last 2 months, they did not go through the calls. And you can see this month's calls are a little bit lower than last month's calls, but we've got 2 months that it did not go through the calls. And why is that important? If I put it on a chart, well, wait a second. They didn't go through the calls. You can see that total returns got closer. And because there is a delay, because of how they pay out distributions, all of a sudden they're ahead of the underlying, basically out of the fund, because the articles were saying, well, they don't make any money. Then how could they be ahead of? I'm just pointing out that they're ahead of the Qs. Just sometimes I wonder what these people are even writing about, or if they even seen the calls. I don't know, but I'm going to say they probably didn't. So right now, because of how they've written the calls and it didn't finish in the money, well, they're actually beating the underlying for that short period of time. Over time, we know that if the market goes up quickly, that, hey, we do get capped, but we're enjoying the income. But in a flat market, like we've seen the last 2 months, we actually beat the underlying. In a downwards market, we will beat the underlying. Now, that does not give us downside protection. Two different things. But it will beat the underlying. I don't care what they say. If they want to roll their eyes and say something else, they obviously don't understand options. And this is how it is. I'm just going to go ahead and say, hey, sideways, downwards, we beat. Upwards, we know that we get capped. But that's a different story. We're taking the income. QQQH. Well, this is one, again, with those collars, and I look at that going, we can see in the past that it actually ended down a little bit into the collar and it came back up, but it did not finish in the collar. Now, the last 2 months, it finished below the actual strike price for the calls. Now, QQQH pays about 9%, but if I look on the chart and look at past, and we're going to go back until we look at last, go down as far as the Qs or QQQI. Wait a second. QQQI was above. How? Wait a second. They're supposed to be paying you out money out of QQQI because I didn't know what those articles were talking about. The chart definitely shows something different. But QQQH at the end of the day has that downwards protection, and you just sit back and go, maybe something for your portfolio. If you're younger, nah. If you're older and you don't want to see a lot of downside, just in case we hit something like 2008 or 2000, I can understand holding a small portion of QQQH in your portfolio. If I look at the Russell, and this is IWMI, you can notice that, hey, it has been very volatile. And you just sit back and go, long term, it has been stronger when rates have been lower. But you can see where they set their strikes this month, and we're right there in the money or right at the money, depending on when you're actually watching this video. Now, the REITs one has been very interesting. This is IYRI. It's been very interesting because they really never finished in the money, and if they do, it's only slightly in the money. So how does this actually look like on a chart? Because if they're not in the money, then they should be beating the underlying. And that's exactly what is going on. So IYRI is beating the underlying IYR. Again, this is exactly how it's supposed to function. Don't know where all these naysayers are talking about. We can see total returns on a chart, multiple months, it's beating it. So I don't know. I guess. Anyway, we're just going to move on and just say, hey, when it's sideways or down, we beat. When it's a bull market and it's going up, we don't beat. At the end of the day, we're looking for the income consistently and not having to worry about selling shares. So the NEOS Gold Fund, well, that hasn't been a high performer. It's been very consistent, but gold has definitely been on a rise. Pretty much every month they go through the calls. Not very often do they not go through the calls. So you sit back and go, hey, it's going up. It's actually increasing in price, but that's only because the underlying is increasing in price, but it pays about that 12%, and you should have a portion in gold. Now, if gold goes sideways for a few months, we know that IAUI will overperform in a sideways market because we've seen that on other charts. BTCI, big rise in Bitcoin recently. We're a lot closer to the strikes. You can see where they are. I track this every single month. You can see that last month we did not, the month before we did not, the month before that, the month before that. Wow, we can go all the way back and we can see that it doesn't go through the strikes. And we can see on a total returns chart that we beat the underlying because it doesn't go through the strikes. Just pointing out that it's pretty much common sense, ladies and gentlemen, that we should be able to look at this and say, if they were just paying out and it can only work if price is rising, well, I will beg to differ. So NEOS came out with a fund on Ethereum, and I look at the first calls on Ethereum, they were pretty good. I look at these calls, big run on Ethereum, but we're still out of the money, still room to grow, and they will roll these at the end of January. The last one we're going to look at is MLPI, and they actually write their calls on AMLP. Just thought I'd throw it out. Not a MLPI, but AMLPs where they write their calls. Big run recently on AMLP. A lot closer. At the end of the day, they're doing the exact same model. They write their calls at the end of every month or roll their calls at the end of every single month, and they pay you out the premiums. I went back and I looked at the math, and they clearly have the premiums actually in cash to pay us out at the end of the month. Just thought I'd throw it out. It looks like they already have the premiums set aside for this month's distributions. If you like this type of content, hit the like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. None of this has been financial advice or any other advice. This is Brad out on the internet. If you need personal help, you need to seek a professional financial planner, lawyer, accountant, tax person, somebody with a license in your state or country to help you out with your situation, because every person's individual situation is different. and my results may be different than your results.